when I was in college and involved in my English classes. Read Niccolò Machiavelli's The Prince, or a section of The Prince, in my textbook. And I found some very interesting facts about this essay, or treatise, or I'm sorry, this work from Machiavelli, The Prince. It's really a philosophy that our politicians use today. The main point is that it's better to be feared than to be loved. Some politicians have successfully achieved that part of it, or really rulers around the world. You could say dictators, but really just people in power. Now, we have individuals who aspire to be feared than to be loved. But Machiavelli would stress that you have to do it in a way you have to get the people's applause. You have to win them over. Not only that, you just can't do it by fear alone to fear them into compliance. You have to do a very slow burn to convince the public to be on your side. Then you can make those moves as a ruler. So I just found it very interesting that in past times, before the 21st century or the 21st century, that yes, you could get away with a Machiavellian philosophy, if you will. You could convince the public to be feared about something, and that you're the only one who can protect them from that something. George Orwell's 1984 comes to mind, but Machiavelli does not stress having a big brother to rule over anyone, to fear them into compliance. The ruler is more of a thinker. He looks ahead, and he oftentimes will, in fact, convince the public what is good for them is good for the state. Remember back, I believe, in the Italian Renaissance, Machiavelli lived under the structure of city-states, right? So I would say in the 4 to 5 centuries since that piece was written, we've had leaders who have tried to be Machiavellian. We tried to convince the public by just convincing them that everything is all right. If there's any danger, it would be taken care of. Know how to play sides. Appeal to one side and yet to the other. Just make it seem as if the other side is not doing as well, or their intentions are not as well for the entire populace as it should be. And we see that today in 2026. But I would say that our leaders now are bad at Machiavellian tactics. They are so bad at Machiavellian tactics. In fact, this is probably the worst group that we've seen in our lifetime who can practice Machiavellian tactics. The reason for that, they're not ready for the 21st century. The technology, the resources. I mean, they try to use them in a way to convince the public that what they say is law. But they don't do it in a way where they're beguiling the public. They're convincing the public that, look, this is what happened. This is exactly what took place, to make it seem as if they're in the right, that everything is all right, everything is fine, and that we're the ones who are protecting you. And if it's anybody on the other side who is acting up, well, guess what? We're taking steps to do just that. But I don't see it. I don't see it. As a student of history, as a student who has graduated with an English degree, I can honestly tell you that at this moment in time, this history, this year, in this century, still young, there is not a Machiavellian soul out there that could convince us of anything going on. You may say a few years back of another leader or leaders of different ideologies, political and otherwise, that's fine. That's your opinion. But I'm just saying to you, currently, right now, we have people who are so bad at really becoming Machiavellian that it just, you look, you absorb the news, you absorb the media and all this and that. Even the media, when they have to cover up to make it seem as if the leaders are so well versed in their Machiavellian tactics, it just doesn't seem right. It seems like it's just state controlled media, like the Soviet Union. Remember those days? Pravda, I believe. But I'm just curious because through all the chest beating and saber rattling and tough talk, like they always do, like these politicians of a certain ideology always get in front of a camera, talk tough, put the fist to the table and say, "This will not stand." But when the pressure comes from the public, they don't have any answers. Now, we'll have to admit, this new group of people, this new crop, they're very good at throwing out the insults. They're very good at throwing out the whatisms and things like that. But still, it doesn't take away from their lack of Machiavellian skills. Because, see, the thing is, if you have a Machiavellian mindset, you would not go into a committee and embarrass yourself by name calling, by throwing the whatisms. You would try to say to the committee, you know, something we're looking into, where we know that there have been some improprieties in the investigations. We know there's been some improprieties in our department. We're doing everything we can to fix that. You would try to win the public on your side. In fact, really, that's what all Machiavellian tactics are. Not to give anyone any advice this late in the game, but just saying that's what Machiavellian tactics entail. Now, other history buffs, majors, I mean, you can disagree with me on that, but I believe from my reading of The Prince, that's exactly what the role of a leader, of a ruler is. To convince the public to be on your side and those under him to do the same. But again, I don't see it. I don't see it because they're not well versed in telling the public or building that narrative or giving the public what they want. They're too busy hiding files. They're too busy saying, yeah, when we get these files about this individual everyone's asking for, we're going to get to the truth, and we'll get to the truth. And then when you finally have an opportunity to get what you want, oh well, hey, you know, we don't have those available right now. We're going to have to mark everything down. You know, basically they got what they want by their tactics, by appealing to everyone's sense of justice, or we're going to get these people, we're going to catch these people, we're going to catch this cabal, the elites. And yet they fell in that Machiavellian turn too. They just completely have no idea what they're doing. And I know this is not 1508, this is 2026, but still, those individuals back in the 1500s are much smarter than the crew we have now. Trust and believe that. So I invite all of you watching this to read The Prince from Machiavelli, to find out the reasons why he would state a ruler has to be pragmatic, at the same time tries to get the public on their side. All the different methods that the ruler has to use in order to win the public over to him or her, but mostly him. And really, instead of being ignorant, saying, oh, that has nothing to do with me, oh, that was back in the 1500s, oh, that was in the Italian Renaissance, I don't care about that. It is important to know history often gives us the key to how mankind really runs, right? All these things have been documented and published for our consumption so that we can learn and move forward and be much better than the individuals and societies and, you know, empires before us. So I would just invite you to read Machiavelli's The Prince. I really would. Because, like I said, once you read it in its entirety, once you have a full understanding of what he was stressing in his work, I truly believe that you'll come to the same conclusion that I have. These folks aren't doing it right in this country. These folks are not doing it right. They're screwing up every single day. And they go on these sound outside. They go on these networks. They talk to state-controlled media now, and they still, with everything that they have, the wind is at their back, they still find a way to mess it up. Truly, they find a way to mess it up. But we shouldn't be surprised. They tried this the first time, and they are flaming spectacularly this time. So that's all I wanted to share with you. I just hope that each and every one of you has a chance to check out Machiavelli's The Prince, and let me know. You history buffs will obviously have your words, and you will probably say some nice things, nice things about that. But at the same time, again, I just want to thank you for watching this. If you have a chance, please like and subscribe to this channel. We try to give some thoughtful social commentary and other thoughts here. And also, if you like what I'm doing as an individual, as an author, please don't forget to check and click the banner above, and it'll take you to my website. You can see what I'm doing in the meantime. So I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this. Machiavelli's work is so profound. In fact, it is the blueprint for each and every political term, political strategy that's been thought of, except for 2016. That in itself is a different story altogether, a different essay. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching this, and I really appreciate your support. And once again, as we move forward, just want to say thank you for watching this, and always in closing, take care.